Before we continue with part 6 of episode 5, I just wanted to point this out. Color scheming. Black, immense, dark emotions, and then red actually brings out the emotions in itself, hence the red on the McDonald's sign, because yellow actually brings out the emotion in hunger. Then, to get you guys to subscribe, like, share, comment, we lighten it up a lot so you guys actually feel more relaxed and more at ease and laid back. Now, with that said, we're about to get into part 6 of episode 5 real quick. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, comment. Now, Officer Mcoy from Suffolk County Precinct, he's in a lot of trouble. You know why? We'll get to him towards the end of the video. Now, Suffolk County Police Department has a huge problem with pregnancy discrimination, where they're actually giving males more light-duty assignments than they actually are giving pregnant females. Why? Because pregnant females are not covered in a light-duty assignment for the Suffolk County Police Department. Now, back in February of 1992, it was stated that the Suffolk County Police Department, as a whole, the entire county only employed 146 female officers. That's a little bit over 6% of their total 2,400 officers. 8 years later, on July 1st, 2000, there were 262 female officers. Only 10% of the 564 officers in total. Now, thank you, James Burke and Thomas Bott and everybody else. Of those, not one of them was in a manager's position, like the commissioner, the deputy commissioner, 4 chiefs, deputy chief, assistant chief, 11 inspectors. As of August 2nd, approximately 153 officers in position, and none of them led any of those freaking ranks. Can you believe that? I can believe that, because this is the Suffolk County Sexual Harassment, Discrimination, Corruption Facility, whatever you want to call it. Throw a nickname in it. I can add freaking episodes and episodes for freaking days on end. Police Officer O'Connor from Manorville, 36 years old. He was actually arrested and taken into custody after he beat up his girlfriend so bad she had to lock herself into the bathroom. He kicked the door open and beat the piss out of her. Hauppauge-based attorney Anthony LaPinta says the allegations are BS and they're false and they're this and they're that. Now, this was never advertised in the local papers like it was supposed to be. Why? Because Anthony LaPinta, the actual attorney, states that it was a serious matter that involved domestic dispute, and since the situation was so sensitive, they cannot release it to the papers, which is weird because the DA argues that under Leandro's law, everybody's actually name is posted in the paper. And Leandro's law is a much more serious subject than his domestic dispute. Now, the last few episodes, we've actually toned it down somewhere towards the middle or the end, just to have a much lighter note real quick and have you guys calm down, catch your emotions, go use a cigarette, a bathroom, or a human being, whatever. Cross-promote for our sister channel real quick. Cook This Political This. Look us up on Instagram and Facebook. Look at this, some grilled onions and some pork ribs. You can use beef ribs if you don't like pork. Oh yeah, by the way, V8 Healthy Greens. Now, not paying us to say this, obviously, we're just a huge fan. I'm just a huge fan of V8, as is Serrano. V8 is so delicious. Remember color scheming? We were talking about that in the beginning of the video. Also, Sweet Baby Ray's. Not paying us to say that also. That is so, I am a fan of Sweet Baby Ray's. I have the buffalo sauce. I have the sweet teriyaki sauce. It is freaking delicious. Also, when you make a hamburger, throw some Swiss cheese on it and throw it on a Thomas's Cinnamon Raisin English Muffin. Not paying us to say that. You will freaking make 6 more because it is so delicious. Now that we're done with that cross-promoting, we just got to get this out of the way for legal notices for this video and any other video we actually have out. Now back to episode 5. Oh yeah, Officer Mcoy. Remember we said we were going to talk about him? Well, now we're getting to that. Officer Mcoy, this piece of garbage. Now, Officer Mcoy is in a lot of trouble because during a routine traffic stop, Officer Mcoy actually arrested a suspected female who had a bench warrant for something small, forgot what it was. Took her into the precinct, actually started showing the quote-unquote bulge in his pants, and on 2 separate occasions during that night, forced the female inmate to actually perform oral sex on him. Look how happy he is that he's going to jail for a while. Now, his attorney, this dick Petrillo. Who was Petrillo? Well, Petrillo actually represented Anthony Further. Now, Anthony Further actually is in trouble right now as well. Why for? Let's see. In 2016, he assaulted and actually shot an innocent man outside the bar. Well, the guy was in the middle of a fist fight with somebody else. So, Officer took it upon himself to actually shoot one of the people. He shot somebody. He also represented an off-duty Nassau County police officer who shot an innocent unarmed taxi driver. This officer was actually drinking at the time. Who else did this guy, Petrillo, actually represent? Oh gosh, it's a whole list of them. Let's go. In 2011, he also defended Anthony DiLeonardo, who actually shot an innocent man in Huntington Station, another taxi driver, over a driving dispute. He has been charged, this officer, with assault. He was arrested and charged. A 35-year-old female, pregnant at the time, was actually pushed to the ground multiple times by an Officer Rogers. Why? Because they were having an actual argument. He was off duty at the time. Who represented him? Well, Patrillo did. This guy seems to be such a hard ass. Now, Maxwell Sherman, we're actually going to get to a huge part of who Maxwell Sherman exactly is in the later part of this episode. Before we head out of here, for my fellow Long Islanders, my fellow Suffolk County Long Islanders to be exact, do you know who this man is? His name is Ward Melville. Ward Melville, actually, in 1922, actually created a shoe line. What was the name of the shoe line? A lot of us know that name from back in the day. Tom McGann's. Tom McGann's actually grew so big that it actually bought over and soon enough became Foot Action. Yes, Foot Action. This is extraordinary. This is Long Island history. I just want to let you guys know, definitely learn your history. Now that you guys have watched that, I apologize to everybody else who isn't a fan of Long Island or doesn't go to Long Island or has never been to Long Island or has nothing to do with Long Island. But this is actually Long Island history. Ward Melville himself, who has a high school actually after him and a town, was the man who created Tom McGann's, which eventually became Foot Action. Now, that's all said and done, ladies and gentlemen, tune in for episode 5, part 7. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. We love you guys. Subscribe, like, share, comment. Color scheme. Remember that?